Hi everyone, this is Holly Herson, Democratic candidate for House District 48, and I wanted to make a video since I work in healthcare, just discussing masks because with the governor's order to wear masks anytime we go out, and with the pandemic becoming more critical right now, with the peak sort of they're estimating it being this week or next week, I wanted to give some tips because I feel like a lot of people who haven't worked in healthcare are not quite as knowledgeable, and so I wanted to dispel misinformation and give you some good solid information. So I have two masks here, a surgical mask and a homemade mask that my wife made. It has a filter on the inside, and so it's not just cloth. However, I know I've answered a lot of questions that people have had about cloth masks and their efficacy or how well they work. And the answer that I've been giving when I've been answering and typing in forums is that cloth masks are not meant to protect you from viral particles or bacterial particles. Cotton and cloth is so porous that it comes right in. What it's meant to do, however, is to keep water vapor and water spit particles from coming out of you. So when you have the mask on, you're not protected from things coming in. You're protecting everyone around you from stuff coming out of you. One of the most infectious scenarios is when somebody touches something and then touches their face. And so if you're talking or if you sneeze and a little bit of particles, your spit essentially gets on stuff in the grocery store or wherever you're at, and somebody else touches it, the virus that could be in your water vapor, moisture, or saliva that's on surfaces can live there for what they're saying is over 72 hours. And so what you're doing is keeping everyone else safe. And the reason why they're asking everyone to wear masks when they go out and about is it's the same idea as herd immunity, right? When everyone out there that may or may not be symptomatic is protecting the environment around them, you are then safer as an individual. So that's the idea. So there's that. Secondly, things like surgical masks are in incredibly high demand by healthcare professionals, and so we have some because I work in healthcare, and when my mother was going through chemotherapy when she had cancer, we purchased a box, and so we've kept that one box, and I have my family has used cloth masks when going out in public because it's not really necessary to use them, to use surgical masks just going out in the world. However, I am using my box of my personal surgical masks that we had from last year when my mom was going through chemotherapy at work, so that my coworkers can use the PPE that we actually have at work. So I'm just using my own personal materials. But I wanted to show you some other things that have to do with masks. So again, we say don't touch your face, right? When this pandemic is going on. So when you are going to be putting on or taking off a mask, you're coming really close to your face. And so that's something that I want to address. Before you put on or take off a mask, you want to wash your hands. And you want to wash your hands with hot water, with soap. It doesn't have to be antibacterial as long as it foams. Antibacterial is obviously the best, but if you don't have it because the stores didn't have it, even dish soap you can use. Just make sure you use soap. For 20 seconds, making sure, of course, we've all seen the videos and things on how to properly wash your hands, but get the backs, get up your wrists, make sure you get between your fingers, and keep your fingernails trimmed. I'm not a good example because my thumbnails are kind of long right now, but and clean underneath your fingernails if you can. After your hands are clean and dry, you're going to take the mask by the earpieces. Okay, and you are going to put on the mask without touching the mask part itself. Okay, and then put it up over your nose. See how I hooked my chin underneath? And then there is wire right here. Without touching the mask with your hands, you're going to pinch down that wire around your nose. And that is a proper way to put on a mask, okay? People in healthcare or people that wear glasses, it fogs up your glasses when you breathe, right? So what we do is we take a piece of tape and we then put that tape here over to tape this down and create a seal so that air isn't escaping and doing our glasses. The reason why we do that is obviously so we can see. It is not comfortable, and when you pull the tape off after an 8-hour, 12-hour day, it's not comfortable. So if it's driving you crazy having your glasses be foggy, then yes, definitely do that, but keep in mind it's not going to be the most comfortable thing. Another thing, people with glasses, we touch our face a lot more, right? For right now, try not to touch the part of your glasses that comes near your face. Try to touch back here or here when you put them on or take them off. Right now your hands are clean, right? You just washed them, so that's good. So there's that, a surgical mask. Now when you're going to take it off at the end of the day, or when you come home, you're going to want to wash your hands the same way. Take off glasses. It's good to have your hair up too. Hair can hold particles, so ponytails when you're going out, or a hat is really necessary to protect yourself and your family as well. But to take off the mask, you're not going to want to touch things, right? You don't want to contaminate your hands and everything else. So you reach back here and take off the mask and dispose of it. Okay, I know that disposing of masks might not necessarily be 100% right now, but as a recommendation, you are supposed to dispose of the masks. Okay, so now for cloth masks, it's kind of the same thing. You're going to take your mask, try not to touch everything that is going to be on your face. You're going to put on your mask. However, this one, it's supposed to tie, but you put on the mask and you make sure that it is up above your nose and then tie it tightly. And so another thing with these masks is making sure, making sure that they are airtight. And one situation that we've found is that the masks themselves, when they are not airtight, can actually be more detrimental. So with your mask on and tightened, you are going to, and I'm just going to hold it right now, there you go, you are going to want to take, they're saying the candle test, and I really liked this when I saw it. Some sort of, a candle or a lighter. See right now, because it's not tied around my nose, it blows the candle. So I would want to tie this much tighter. And I can't blow the fire. And so that's how you know it's airtight. Nothing's coming out of you. Of course, like I said, things are going to still be able to come in, particles, microscopic particles, but nothing can come out of you to contaminate surfaces that would harm other people. That is the purpose of the cloth masks. Don't be confused to say, I'm safe out in the world because I'm wearing a cloth mask. That is not the case. You are keeping other people safe by wearing a cloth mask. So then again, to take it off, you want to avoid touching the mask itself to things as much as possible, and then remove it. So this one is not the best for preventing it from touching other things. So I'm just using it as an example. It was one of our trial and error masks that we were working on earlier. It's just a fun one. So anyway, try to avoid contact lens wear right now. Avoid touching your face as much as possible. People that don't work in healthcare, people that don't wear masks on a regular basis, when you have something on your face, it makes you want to touch it. Your nose is itchy, right, when you're wearing something. So it's a mind over matter situation. Wearing masks can actually be more harmful if people are touching their face more. So that's something that you want to be incredibly mindful of when you have a mask on. Keep your hands away from your face. That's another reason why the CDC did not recommend people, just to the general public, to wear masks right away. The benefit didn't outweigh the risk until we reached a certain epoch of the virus itself. And so now they're saying, well, as long as there's a little bit of education out there, which I'm hoping that I'm providing, it can actually be more beneficial to ask people to wear cloth masks. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. I hope to hear from you soon. I hope everyone is staying well, and take care. This is Holly Herson, Democratic candidate for House District 48, just with a little bit of information about masks. Thanks, and take care. Bye-bye.